बनानी है
टिकटॉक
किसी का नाम बताओ
टिकटॉक
नो
किसी की आंखों का काजल बन जाता है, जो प्यार करता है पागल बन जाता है। आई लव यू टू। मैम उधर जाके मुझे याद करना।
Give that one, the other one, where's she gone?
She's not saying anything. She's
Give it to her, because I gave it to her. Give it to her as well.
अच्छा बात सुनो, उसको बोलो मुझे थोड़ा सा हुसन दे दे। मैं बाजी इधर जलील करना चाहती हूँ लोगों को।
आपके पास come on.
फिगर है हुसन नहीं है हुसन चाहिए।
yeah, give it to this one.
Come on.
Let's give me. Okay.
चलो ना, मैं दियो ना, बस
Yep. Those are Clint's girlfriend, and they are down to ride, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I know.
Back.
I know exactly what you mean, Lukey boy.
Beautiful and amazing human beings. My name is Luke Rudowski here of thebestpoliticalshow.com, and we will be going live for the next 2 hours discussing all the latest and craziest news developing right now. As, of course, we have the seizing of the assets of Alex Jones, who soon might be losing everything as Biden is also lost in Italy, where a new Russian peace deal was just turned down as Argentina is rioting because of less taxes. U-turns are being taken down. What's really going on here? Well, we're going to find out all in the next 2 hours. As, of course, we would ask you guys to please share this broadcast with your friends and family members. It means a lot to us when you do. And, of course, it fights the larger kind of algorithm pressures we face. As an independent media organization, we faced a lot of really big things happening behind the scenes that are not fun to deal with. But with your support, we're still here, and it really does mean a lot to have your guys' backing. The more people that tune in, the bigger guests we have on the show. As, of course, you also get to participate in this show. And one easy way to do that is to sign up to LukeUnfiltered.com. By doing so, you get the ability and the access to actually be a part of the show by calling in. We have a special Telegram group. We don't have a caller yet. We will soon. That caller could be you as soon as, of course, you sign up to LukeUnfiltered.com. When you do, just tell me you want to call in on that Telegram group, and we will be going to you in a little bit, as we're also organizing a nature hike, which is going to be happening Friday in New Hampshire around the White Mountain area, I think at around 12 noon. So yes, next Friday, nature hike just for members, available for members of LukeUnfiltered.com. As you could also super chat during the show, as we would tell you to check out mysuperchat.com, a service that only takes a 3% service charge and allows your super chat to actually show up on screen. Check out all those links down in the description below. As, of course, joining us for this conversation is the one and only Mark Lobliner of Tiger Fitness, someone that we like having here in studio because every time he visits, we have to go hit the gym. And I think our thumbnail for today is definitely very pride-friendly, and I think the YouTube will now finally maybe help us in the algorithm. What do you think, Mark?
I think it's the only way to celebrate Pride Month is to come out of the closet.
Yeah.
And I mean, boy, did we come out of the closet, man.
We gay now. We are gay. That's the name of this YouTube
It's
channel now.
raining
We're changing
men.
it. Yes, it's official. We gay.
That could be clipped and used in perpetuity.
Yes,
we are gay
will.
now.
It will. It's not we are changed. We are gay. Mark, for the people who don't know you.
Oh my goodness.
All of us, by the way. Steph, too. For the people who don't know you, who are you?
So
Other than just being gay.
I own a company called TigerFitness.com. We have all your health and nutritional supplement needs, and also have a company called Ambrosia, #1 plant protein in the country, available at Sprouts and Vitamin Shop.
Nice.
Yep, that's the quick and easy of it.
Yeah, you have really good stuff. I appreciate your stuff. We talk about business all the time, and seeing just the stuff that you have to do behind the scenes to make sure your products are legitimate. It's crazy, but it's incredible to see your kind of due diligence as well, and the amount of time you actually spend. The laptop never leaves you. You're always working. So shouts out to you. I like that kind of environment around me. So it's always great to have you.
Appreciate it.
Clint is here. He didn't need to come out. He was already out.
That's right. I've been out for years. At Liberty Lock Pod on X. If you want to support my work, you can subscribe there. I'll follow you back. Liberty Lockdown is the show. As you can see, the shirt right here, which you can pick up at toplobster.com. What else? That's it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Milo. Oh, by the way, yes, welcome. I'm Milo Yiannopoulos, and I know it's been many years since I've been on any of your fine programs, but I think that we will have a fantastic episode this evening.
It's more of like a Lord Varys, but that wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I'm not
and
good
was
at
okay.
it.
That
Every
was
time
good.
I see Milo, I'm like, Lord Varys, you are here. And he doesn't like that. But he's supposed to be here. He's horrible to deal with. Like, you know. So
he's not.
He's not. But again, I don't know. I think something came up. We're doing our best. Who knows? He might just come through that door right now. That's in the position that we're in right now. Steph, how does it feel to be gay?
I love being happy. That's amazing. It's so wonderful. Steph, we are changed. Yay, let's go.
All right, let's get into it. As I think the biggest story today is definitely what is happening to Alex Jones. As CNN just reported 3 minutes ago from Oliver Darcy, someone that probably finds joy in this headline that reads, "Judge approves liquidation of Alex Jones's personal assets to pay the victim's family members that sued him." As of course, Owen Schroyer said that today in the courtroom, the fate of InfoWars could be decided, and it looks like the decision has been made and a lot of the assets will be sold out. Now, who will be buying them, how they will be sold? Will it also include the social media of Alex Jones? As we also found out through these court proceedings, that there were motions to take away one of the few social media accounts that Alex Jones has. That's his Twitter account, since, of course, he was almost banned everywhere else, including platforms that he never used in his life. He got his Twitter back just a couple months ago through, of course, the work of Elon Musk. And now it looks like there is a concerted effort to try to take away one of his few ways that he could still communicate with the general public. Now, this is his own personal social media account, and they are making deliberate efforts in order to take it away from him. I think this is, as Clint explained, a canary in the coal mine. Steph is still trying to understand that phrase. Kind of moment where it's crazy. Just how far will they go to destroy this man, to prevent him from being able to speak to people? And in the larger kind of battle of ideas, if you don't like his ideas, think of a better idea. Contest his ideas. Provide good ideas to what ideas you think are bad. You don't want to do any of that. You want to intimidate him. You want to destroy him. You want to financially ruin him. You want to take away everything from him, including his ability to speak to the general public. Are you kidding me? And the more you attack him, the more I want to support him. That's my own personal take on it. What about you guys?
100%. See, the whole ruling I didn't agree with. I think he made a statement. It was incorrect. Was it worthy of that kind of settlement? I don't think anybody in their right mind can say that was a just settlement.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything you can say that would make $1 billion fine a just settlement.
$1.5 billion that there wasn't even a real kind of court proceeding on, because the judge just ruled, oh yeah, you lost because you didn't comply with discovery. But then Alex Jones came out and said, I was complying. I remember being at dinner with him in Austin when this was all happening, before the news even broke that the judge kind of decided he was guilty without this trial. He told us what was going on here, and he was like, dude, I'm complying. I'm giving them everything. They took his cell phone, literally, verbatim, took everything out of it. There was a mistake from one of his own lawyers that sent the entire phone, and then they distributed it all throughout the larger kind of corporate media entities out there and released his own private kind of dealings, which were embarrassing in some instances. That's how much he complied. He gave them everything. But they still said, you didn't comply. You're guilty without even a court proceeding. You owe us $1.5 billion. That's crazy.
But the problem is there wasn't any real law broken. Like, you look at libel laws, you look at all those different laws. He didn't really cost money. He said hurtful things. Were they the wrong things to say? Yes, absolutely. He'd probably agree with that. But what if we say things that we feel, hey, what if we come up with these conspiracies, ask the questions? Well, okay, the Sandy Hook thing was staged. Okay, he said it. It was dumb. But how is he not allowed to say that? How is that punishable with over $1 billion in fines? That does not even fit any of the definitions of any of the libel or slander laws. This whole thing in the first place just shows me the man, I'll show you the crime. If they want to take any of us down at any time, they will find something to take us down with. They will find something. There is nobody who is immune to this. Even Donald Trump. They trumped up charges on Donald Trump that didn't even exist, and they changed rules. And they changed a misdemeanor into felony. What the government is doing is they're flexing on all of us, telling us to shut up, don't question us, or we will take you down.
Well, first off, Alex Jones has 2.2 million followers on X. He just got his account back, I think, like a year ago, and he follows me, so I would really like him to not get nuked. Let me start by saying that the most important part.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, he only follows 600 people. It's kind of a valuable thing. All right. Anyways, no, seriously though, to steelman the argument from which, by the way, I agree with everything that's been said for the most part. Obviously this judgment is totally obscene and ridiculous. However, if there is a legitimate judgment and if you are driven into bankruptcy, well, under bankruptcy law, any marketable asset must be liquidated. You may have a payment plan or whatever, but what he's left with are assets which are digital in nature, but they have real market value. I mean, you could sell his Twitter account for hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars. So yeah. I understand the argument. I just think that the underlying case and the liability and the judgment is all totally criminal, personally. So that, I'm just trying to give the steel man of the opposition here is that's why they're going after it. It's not necessarily that they want him to be silenced. I assume he'd be allowed to create a new account, but they want to sell off the ones that have value. The truth is that as soon as he creates a new one, the old ones lose value. So I don't. It's a very weird thing.
I mean, he sells it, right? Let's just say he sells it in order to give this kind of financial restitution. No one's going to retweet it. No one's going to follow it. I'm going to unfollow it automatically.
Of course.
It doesn't work. So I think the larger kind of consensus here is that they're just trying to silence him. They're just trying to shut him up, and they're just trying to destroy him because they know even though he sets up a new account, there's going to be a bunch of new people that are going to follow him there. They're going to make new motions saying, well, no, this is ours too. But then he still won't get the same amount of following that he had before.
No, I mean, what they're attempting to do is make
kneecap him.
Yeah, they're
kneecapping him.
They're trying to make it so that it's completely impossible for him to continue to have a voice with a large platform. Like, sure, if he wants to have a solo man show from his house, they'll probably leave him alone with that. If he wants to have any legitimate operation that has any sort of on the ground reporting or travel or anything of significance, they're trying to make that impossible. And I think that it's not so much about Alex as it is about independent media, about people that really question the government. Even if they get things wrong, they're always questioning the government. That's not allowed.
But they're forcing him to sell off his main business. His business is nothing without him.
Of course.
So as soon as they sell it off, whoever's going to buy it,
it'd be like Project Veritas.
It's just going to tank. Yeah, exactly. No one's really paying attention to Project Veritas, even though Project Veritas just released a new video a couple days ago. No one's really paying attention to it because of the bad blood that happened between them and James O'Keefe.
But here's the deal. I don't think it's about any of that. I think it's a warning shot to all of us that none of us are immune. I think him and Trump are just simply an example. They're setting an example. Shut your mouths, go along with it, and you must comply. This has nothing to do with Alex Jones. Alex Jones just happens to be the biggest guy, biggest voice. He said something out of pocket. And instead of being like, hey, don't say that again, we're going to go after you, but we're not even going to give you an official way to defend yourself. The court system's gone. Laws don't exist if the courts don't care about them. That's the thing. We have a system of laws, but they don't follow them. They don't care.
Yeah, well, and those judges, both the ones in New York and I think it was Texas, they had the same issue. They both basically during discovery, they said, we're just going to give summary judgment and just basically go to the jury to ask how much, not whether or not you're guilty or innocent, but how much do you owe? And I just think if you believe in America, in jurisprudence, if you believe in due process, I don't even if you hate Alex and if you hate everything that he said and you hate this entire topic, how can you look at that and not say, oh, this is obviously persecution?
Yeah. So the court proceedings were happening as we were prepping for the show. And now, just literally minutes ago, the decision was made that it will be liquidated. Now, how will this happen? That's going to be the really interesting part. Because they could sell off the equipment. But what are they going to do with the website? What are they going to do with his social media accounts as they're trying to take every little thing from him? He was able to keep one of his homes.
Has he already appealed? Do you know?
I don't know about those specific details, but I don't know if there's even an ability to appeal because of the way that they just kind of ruled, the way they kind of judged and made the decision here.
Someone ought to talk to Trump, man. Because like Alex was responsible in 2016, in my opinion, for getting Trump over the finish line because he really helped him in the last few months before November. If Trump wants to be a real cult hero, like if you can intercede to keep Alex Jones,
but Trump doesn't have any power now.
Nope.
So
you're right. I'm just saying come November. But yeah, it may be too late by then. I don't know.
But then Trump's probably worried about also potentially linking himself with controversial figures.
Once you're in there, second term, what do you have to worry about?
Trump's lame ducking it, man. He shouldn't care.
Yeah,
and that's the argument.
No, I agree.
That's the argument for Trump.
I agree with you guys if he's in there, but I think they're going to do everything in their power to make sure that he's not going to be in there.
Well, for goodness' sake.
And that's why he's kind of playing this game where everyone's kind of telling him, "Shut up! Don't say anything. Don't ruin this."
Well, Clint was talking about the whole judgment, right? It doesn't matter if you have a jury. Look what they did in New York. That was a jury. The jury is afraid to rule the other way. They're afraid of the mob, the woke mob, because they get off. Look, here's the deal. You make skid marks on a pride parade, on a pride mural, and you're charged with a felony. Okay, you burn down buildings and you're okay. So they have made it clear that the law only applies to one side. Law is dead. It is lawfare in this country right now. Kangaroo courts, show trials. This is the beginning of the end of an empire. This is terrible. Yeah. What they're doing now, what the left has done to... See, Republicans were always above this. Trump's like, I'm going to throw you in jail. But see, here's the thing. Even Trump had decorum. Even Trump was like, you know what? That will be... If I start doing this, they're going to do it back. The question is, does Trump say, F it, dude? Well, it's already started. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, this also sets up a very big kind of chilling effect for a lot of independent media, including myself, where I'm like, okay, I'm held liable for everything I say. Everything you say today, everything Clint says, everything Stephanie says, and I'm here like sitting back, being like, okay, we need like money for lawyers because like other people are being sued. You're not even hearing about it, but there is this new wave of legal lawfare specifically going after independent journalism that is terrifying, because even if it's frivolous, even if it's wrong, if you get the wrong judge, if you're in the wrong jurisdiction, you're screwed. The jury of your peers in places like New York City is not a jury of your peers. It's a rigged system that doesn't care about the rule of law. And if you dare to speak out against the system or the establishment or the government, they're going to say, you know what, we're going to do our best to try to destroy you and take everything away from you. And that's what they're doing to Alex Jones. And it's pretty sad. And it's pretty crazy that it has gone this far, because further from that, it's just imprisoning people. And we're not far away from that either.
Well, I mean, even if you don't lose in court, just the cost of hiring an attorney to defend yourself against a multitude of frivolous lawsuits is enough to dissuade people from additional growth, hiring new people. Like it's all basically suppression tactics, and everybody that's aware of what's transpiring knows exactly why this is happening.
So people don't understand how much legal costs.
Oh, dude, it's
and
brutal.
I speak to it because there was a time, I think a year ago, I was in 5 concurrent lawsuits.
Yeah, man.
Not related to this stuff, but you're looking at 50 to 100 grand per case. And if you're being sued, if you're an independent journalist who's barely making ends meet, you're not going to, you're folding.
Yep.
So they're just
fold right away.
They're telling you to toe the line. They're telling you to censor yourself, and they're telling you that if you do not, we will come at you. And the thing is, you have a budget. The government does not have a budget. They will waste millions of dollars to shut you down.
Yeah.
They do not care. America as we knew it, where we actually followed the law. Remember when the ACLU actually defended the Ku Klux Klan? Yeah. They did that because at a time, the ACLU was about liberty and civil rights. Didn't matter if you were a Ku Klux Klan member or a Black Lives Matters member. Now they're simply an arm of the Democrat Party. We're in dangerous territory right now.
Now they're saying, feelings over your rights. And that's legitimate arguments that they're
Well, that's
making,
what happened to
which
Alex.
is so tragic, which is so crazy because again, even if you don't agree with Alex, even if you don't like him, you still should be standing up for him because this sets such a dangerous precedent where media daring to push the Overton window, daring to question stuff is stifled, is silenced, and the more that they're stifled, the more that they're silenced, the more that they're attacked, the more that the general public lose out on this. Now, Mark, you're in the business world. You deal with a lot of this kind of legalese stuff. It's kind of egregious how the kind of business legal system kind of works.
You don't
here.
even know.
I don't know. Could you tell us from your own experiences just some of the stuff that you see?
Let me mention one frivolous lawsuit just to have fun. We got sued by a class action group. It's always in California because California's lawyers lobbied the government to essentially make it the Wild Wild West. So if you look at lawsuits, look at even Prop 65, that's all legal stuff. Prop 65 was designed. Prop 65 is this product may cause cancer, state of California. There is no product out there that doesn't meet those levels because those minerals are naturally occurring in soil. So if you have a vegetable, it's going to have a Prop 65 cancer causing warning, or else you get sued and you get embezzled. So one lawsuit I got is because we had mass emails. Like, you order a product, an email goes out, thank you for your order. Someone claimed they own the patent on emails.
Oh yeah.
So
that's a guy who sues everybody for that.
So you probably know the guy. So we actually fought that one. We didn't settle, and we countersued and we ended up winning.
Oh, nice.
So in the process, it cost us about $45,000, and we won where they had to actually pay us a little bit. So if you think about the lawyer fees just to fight it, where I could have settled for $5,000, but I was like, no, I'm not going to settle this one. This one's bullshit.
Yep.
And I ended up again. It cost me that much money. I've had settlements go in the 70s. I've had, fighting it go in the 80s, 90s, over $100,000. And I've never been wrong. We've never committed a crime, but we've spent so much money on legal, millions of dollars over the past 10 years, millions of dollars just for existing.
People don't understand what a disincentive that is to the entrepreneurial path. Like,
I want out. I'm done.
See,
like I'm done.
I shut down a multi-million-dollar company 4 years ago because of taxes, regulations, and then frivolous lawsuits. So I totally understand the sentiment.
So for those of you saying, "Oh my goodness, $17 Big Macs," okay, you're just looking at the cost of goods. You're not looking at the overhead. You're not looking at the cost of operations. And you're not looking at the fact that every employee on that staff, I have to pay insurance on. I have to pay disability on.
And then when you fire them, they're going to sue you because they were a minority or whatever.
Well,
or disabled.
Here's a funny lawsuit. My father-in-law owned a security business in California. He got sued by a woman because he had two lesbians working there. The woman sued him because she said she was discriminated against because she wasn't a lesbian. This is in the 90s.
Yeah.
This is a lot. This is before this woke stuff.
It's only gotten worse.
It's gotten worse. So it's at a situation where if you're starting a business, I recommend you set aside 20% of your budget, upcharge your products by 20% if you have to, because once you get, I call it the $10 million rule. Once you hit 8 figures, you're going to get sued by everybody. Everybody's sued. Do I sound bitter and angry? I sound like just an angry,
No.
man.
I mean, it's important that people
ranting.
understand this.
Veins are popping out of my forehead. Like you could tell my steroid riddled heart is just pounding out of the chest.
But I want people to understand. Like I had the opportunity to grow my mortgage company from 100 million in lending capital to $1 billion plus. I could have gone huge if I had wanted to, but I realized that even at my level, I was already facing audits and basically suppression tactics that I was like, if I get to the level he's talking about, the 10 million in net income annually, I will spend half of my revenue on legal battles. So why would I do that when I can just stay small? So but what does that mean?
Yes.
It's not so much about what it did to me. I still made a good living. The issue is that I didn't end up hiring those 10 or 20 additional people to get me to that $1 billion level. That is how you crush an economy.
Yes.
And then you add some more underhanded kind of things that happen in alternative media behind the scene, and it's freaking terrifying. Adding on new employees, getting more people, and I'm even thinking to myself, do I want to expand? Do I want to get bigger? Do I want to have more? And I'm like, that's more liabilities. That's more stress. I have to pay payroll. I have to pay taxes on top of taxes. It's
and then you have
it's
to
a
pay payroll
ridiculous
company.
It's a ridiculous situation where I'm even kind of like, well, I'm kind of okay not expanding this.
So
I'm kind of all right not taking more risk and liability because the people who work for you, again, you got to be super careful who you surround yourself
Well,
with.
keep in mind too. Tim Pool talks about this all the time. He is constantly talking about, like, every time he has to take down an episode and people talk smack to him or whatever, he'll say, I could just go back to just doing my daily show by myself. I'd make the same income. Like, all of this is just brain damage. He faces frivolous lawsuits, the issues with complaints from the audience, from his staff, whatever. It's like, it's just exhausting. I totally get it. And then you pay a crazy amount of taxes on top of it, and half the country hates you.
And you're liable for other people's mistakes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if someone messes up here, I'm responsible. And I'm like, please don't mess up.
It's crazy.
If I could do it all over again, I would cap it 5 million, keep it small, and just make a good living for myself and my family. And then sell the company. You're looking at even 5 times EBITDA. You keep your EBITDA around $500,000 to $600,000. Sell the company, profit 2.53 million, invest it. You're good for life. That's what I look at. You just can't live an extravagant life. You can't drive the fancy car, but you put 4 million, invest it well. You're good for life.
Well, the issue is all right. So as someone who did essentially what you're describing, it gets even more challenging because now we're in this inflationary period where you're like, all right, if we go hyperinflation, where do I actually want to be invested? I'm just saying there's additional layers of effery that are going on.
Yeah. So there's.
It's like, why should I put money aside when that money's just getting literally just devalued and lit on fire by the Biden administration and the Federal Reserve banking system that literally are printing out of the thin air?
Yeah.
It's like,
Owning a business is not the panacea that people make it out to be.
No,
it's not the nirvana. It is, look, man, I missed both of my first kids' first 2 steps to build where I'm at. It didn't just come to me. I came from nothing. And every day something happens that I question everything every single day.
Yeah. And every day someone will tell you, oh, you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth or something. That always drives me crazy that people go,
I was born with a rusted ass spoon in my mouth.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. But anybody that has success in this country, you will always have millions of people in this country that look at them and go like, I just want to steal everything from you. You didn't earn it. It's there, even though they don't understand the 60-hour, 70-hour work week. They're working 20 hours.
60, man. I mean, There's something to be said about getting into corporate America. My brother's been a senior VP for multiple brands. He's made a good living. He didn't have to deal with the stress I had. He didn't miss any of his kids' first steps. He was home for birthdays. He was home for all that stuff. There's something to be said about being a corporate guy, working up the ladder. There's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with working for someone else.
Security in it, usually.
Oh, you get a 401k match. You get health care. Look, man, I'm not preaching against following your dream and starting your own business. Just understand you need to listen to more people like us and less people like Gary Vee. People don't understand Gary Vee had a $3 million wine business gifted him by his parents. Then he's telling people, oh, just quit everything, follow your dream. Okay, 94% of businesses fail. Okay, there's so many forces working against you. Again, you can make it work, but just know it's not. You're not working 9 to 5, son.
And there's so many people in this industry that are like, I want to be like you, and I'm like, you don't understand the amount of hours and the amount of work that happens. And like, just give it to me. Why isn't that working?
Bro,
I'm like, you don't understand.
You've been grinding, dude.
Yeah.
You were getting your ass kicked at rallies, like
For 20 years.
Yeah. Luke's like 70 years old. People don't realize he takes
I'm an old man.
a lot of HGH. That's why he looks so young. That's why in that picture he looks so virile.
Well, and just to go
He
back
got
to
me
this,
pregnant yesterday.
I believe it.
It's not HGH, it's just poppers.
The-
Who are you, Barry Bonds?
to go back to that statistic he was talking about, it's 94% of startup businesses fail within the first 5 years.
Yeah.
My business lasted almost a decade, and I shut it down voluntarily. It wasn't going to go out of business. So that is the exception, though. But it is hard.
But shouts out to Alex because he's been doing this a lot longer
He's been
than I have.
grinding.
I've been friends with him for 20 years. Our relationship was up and down. It was a little bit tumultuous sometimes. We had a big fight, but we got to put everything to the side. It's water underneath the bridge. The guys is being attacked from all different sides.
Yes.
He is that tip of that spear. He is risking everything. They are taking everything away from him, and he's working his butt off. He just had an incredible interview with Russell Brand. He just did another one with Tucker Carlson talking about the larger kind of spiritual aspects of it. And every time I kind of hang around him, there is a different kind of every time we do a show, every time we have a conversation, there's something else that's kind of very unique about him that is special. And again, you don't have to agree with him. I disagreed with him. We have public disagreements sometimes too, but you got to give the man credit where the credit is due. He set up essentially the pathway for independent media all the way through frickin' public broadcast television. That's how I got into this. I saw what he was doing. I went down to my local public broadcast station. I didn't have money for all the high-end equipment, but they provided it to you. So I took advantage of that, and he was literally just through public access, speaking to people all the way back in the 1990s. So he's been grinding, he's been working a very long time, and give credit where credit is due, even if you don't agree with his kind of political
over
opinions.
30 years he's been doing this, man. And this goes back to the point I was making about Tim Pool. Like, Tim Pool and Alex have both brought in and uplifted a ton of other creators and people that would not have those opportunities otherwise. Like, Tim's got, I don't even know how many, 50, 60 employees. They're all doing, different artistic projects and, skate projects or movies or music, or like, he's really trying to fight that culture war stuff. Alex is the same way. Like, he brought in Owen and my other guy,
Harrison
Smith, like
Darren Breen. There's a lot of just awesome people.
Yeah,
Rob Du.
Let me just say too, the I don't know Alex personally, but I know Harrison pretty well, and I love that guy, and it tells me everything I need to know about Alex and his character, that he decided to give him that opportunity. And Chase, like, it just awesome people, and it just breaks my heart to see what's happening.
Well, their future is also up in the air, so
of course,
those guys
man.
don't even know what's going to be happening with them as well. So
sucks. It really pisses me off.
The government does not care. You are just a number and you are a statistic. They do not care about you. Take care of yourself. The government will not save you.
Exactly. I think this could be a good time to also transition and tell you about one of our sponsors, which I think is important to talk about, because there's not a lot of companies that want to support independent media because of the larger threats. But Alpine Gold is one of them. They actually have a lot of similar kind of beliefs like we do. They're an awesome company. I was able to reach out to them through, of course, PorkFest. They're going to be helping us setting up an entire studio where we are going to be doing episodes next week in person at PorkFest. Really shouts out to these guys. They have some really great, incredible products that you should check out. As of course, our dollar is losing value, so it's no surprise many are turning to gold and silver to diversify their wealth. Through gold may seem outdated, it remains a reliable and tangible form of money. Fortunately, companies like Alpine Gold Exchange have bought precious metals, investing into the modern age. With Alpine Gold, you can buy gold, silver, or goldbacks online with direct shipping. By the way, goldbacks are a currency that you could use at PorkFest and buy a lot of your food, a lot of your drinks, a lot of your merchandise, whatever you're looking to buy. At PorkFest in New Hampshire, they literally use this all around the Free State Project, and it's a fascinating way to barter and trade without using Federal Reserve fiat notes, as of course they have a small fraction of gold within them. And these are pretty cool, little tangible, fun things to have, as of course this company also helps you manage your metals, online exchanges. They transfer, liquidate stuff. You could lease your gold out, your silver. They do some really interesting stuff. So go check them out at getintogoldnow.com. We have the link in the description. If not, my producer will put it in there and also in the comment section down below. As of course, it's important to support our sponsors who allow us to still be here. Getintogoldnow.com is one of those companies, Alpine Gold, and truly a great company.
Alpine Gold has been around since 2011 and has done hundreds of millions of dollars of transactions. They have branches around the country that serve people who want to preserve their wealth in their own communities. A quick side tangent, just so you guys know, the Saudis have decided to come off the petrodollar standard and will now be selling their oil and gas in different currencies. So There's a distinct possibility of hyperinflation in our future. I can't give you a timeline, but I would caution you against having no hedges into a diversified portfolio. Alpine Gold can help you with that. Their IRA program is one of the only programs in the world that allows you to earn guaranteed interest with the ability to spend and use your metals with 0% spread. The government and Fed can't control inflation on their own spending, and for the first time in human history, we have the technology and ability to have an alternative option to spend, preserve, and increase wealth. Check out Alpine Gold today.
Yeah. So shouts out to these guys because they're going to make the shows possible in New Hampshire during PorkFest, where you again could get some gold backs. You could probably buy them from them at PorkFest and then use it to buy, barter, and trade. And we're going to have the CEO on next week as well. So stay tuned for that. And thank you guys for supporting the companies that support us and allow us to still be here as an independent media organization. As of course, things are not all right. And a lot of people are finding that out, especially through Joe Biden, who, according to the New York Post, his condition is shocking allies at the G7 summit, with many people saying it's the worst he has ever been. This, as there are a lot of really crazy videos of this man just being lost, this man just looking dazed. This is not a competent leader. This is not a person who's on top of it. This is not a person taking his supplements. This is not a man who is cognitively there, as of course you could just see it from the look on his face, the look in his eyes. Holy freaking cow.
He gone.
Yes. See, there's nothing there, guys, except for the deep state essentially probably controlling him and being the larger representative of his administration.
I got to make sure that people recognize the pretext to that statement. They said that this is the worst he has ever been. That's a quote from some other G7 leader, right? What does that imply? It means that he's always been bad.
He's always been bad. Now he's...
Because this is the worst. They're saying he's always been bad, but he's even worse than that. That is a hilarious quote.
I love how the lady in... Who's the lady in pink? Am I missing? She's a leader.
She's the prime minister of Italy, who's hosting the G7 conference. And Joe Biden had her wait 20 minutes for him because he was late meeting her.
Well, he had to poop. I mean, it happens to all of us, but she's like, yo, bro, like, come on, let's go.
I love that one photo where they're all like pretending like they care about something up there in the sky because he's like dazing off. So they're like, oh yeah, let's pretend that this isn't weird right now.
Well, there are paratroopers flying in and doing like a little air show for the G7 leaders and like flying in front of them. And that's why he was kind of like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah, it's getting pretty sad, pretty scary right now. Whether and the thing is, he's saying some off the wall stuff, and people have gotten so used to his gaffes, we don't even talk about them anymore. Like what he said before, the pressure, whatever it was, like he's gone completely off the rails where every speech, there's something. So it doesn't get traction anymore. It's become the norm where this man can't speak.
Unpopular opinion. I love it. I absolutely love it. As someone who has believed that the president has not been the leader for decades, if ever, in this country, certainly 50 years. Well, this is great. This tells everybody in America who's not totally blue-pilled and a total idiot that like that's how this system works, that the system continues to perpetuate regardless of who the president is. That tells you everything you need to know when it comes to democracy and defending our democracy and the most important election of our lifetime. It's like, yeah, this guy's not there. Like,
you don't think Trump did anything on his own?
Very little.
Yeah, and I'm not arguing.
Yeah, I'm just being honest. Like very little. He tried to withdraw his troops from Syria. They're like, no,
well, we did it. Yeah, we totally did what you wanted, Trump. And then they're like, keep him in there. Yeah. And then that's exactly what they did.
And did they get charged with treason for that?
Nope.
They didn't. So who's in charge? Well, in fact, it's actually the deep state. It's the unelected bureaucracy, and they don't face any consequences. You had the head of the FBI just yesterday telling the congressional hearing, shove it. I'm not going to give you what you're asking for. Congress has oversight over the FBI. They have to turn it over, and they don't. They don't do it.
So what could the consequence be? Can he do jail time?
Well, theoretically, Congress could defund the FBI, but they won't. So
why not?
Because they're compromised. I think that they have info on these guys.
Like Epstein info, or like what info? Like what would be the info they have?
Corruption or sexual peccadillos or criminality. Yeah, it's all of the above.
Yeah, our friend Chaya Rajcik just posted this on Twitter, and I thought it was pretty interesting as she asks, did he just sniff him? Showing the
Nice.
photo of Joe Biden with the Pope there. That has been making some very interesting comments recently, as he's accused of not being Pride Month friendly as well.
Yeah,
But-
because Catholics are all about Pride Month.
yeah. Catholics, especially some of the priests, they probably really love this month.
Well, I mean, yeah, I didn't go there, but yeah.
Well, hey, if we're gonna call out one aspect of horrible predators, we got to call out the other.
I like any time a pope says something inappropriate. We can't say it on this particular platform, but it is hilarious.
Yeah, we'll be
get
able to
into it
say
later.
it. We'll be able to say it in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But again, Biden is holding up world leaders, not showing up on time, skipping dinners, making motions where he looks like he pooped his pants. And I'm kind of thinking what Clint said here. And hey, maybe it might be worth it to say 4 more years.
Oh, bro.
Maybe it might be worth it to say, let's keep this trend going. As of course, it's going to wake up. Hey, I'm playing the devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be great. People realize just how absolutely horrible and how much of an empty vessel the president of the United States is, and how much little that they actually decide.
Well, spoiler alert, Luke. He's not going to be alive in 5 years. There's no way he's going to do a
Listen,
second
have
term.
no clue
the
how he's still
advancement
there.
of technology, right? Anything's possible. Look at how old Henry Kissinger was. Look how old David Rockefeller was. They were about 100.
Yeah, but their brains were still working. This dude's brain ain't working. It's
Yeah,
over.
you look at Trump versus this. Trump's like there. Like Trump, for some reason, seems like he's getting more with it as he ages.
Yeah. Now there's some pictures that don't paint Trump in the best kind of light, but when it comes to being an orienter, when it comes to speaking to crowds, when it comes to engaging people, when it comes to talking to the media,
Oh, it ain't close.
Absolutely, Donald Trump dominates, and he's dominating that much more as he's now also singing music right to my ears as he's floating around the concept of eliminating the income tax and replacing it with tariffs at a recent GOP meeting at Capitol Hill. Now, this to me, great idea. Tariffs, not so much. Getting rid of the income tax, yes, that sounds awesome.
I'll take that.
That
Even
sounds
trade.
incredible.
I'll take that.
And I'll take that trade any day. Absolutely. I just don't like any kind of taxes. I don't like any kind of tariffs. But if we're going to be getting rid of the income tax, yes, please, and more. As of course, if you live in places like Florida with no state tax and no income tax, this is going to be something that's going to free people, liberate people, make businesses grow, expand, and of course, other places like New York City and California are going to automatically implement their own kind of federal tax, which will be a state tax that they're just going to be increasing to match the same numbers as people had before, because that's the stuff that they do. When Trump set up the tax cuts, which, by the way, expire, I think this year, he set them up. And then as soon as he did, all the communist states and cities increased their taxes so people wouldn't see a major difference in their taxes, which was absolutely underhanded, absolutely cruel, and absolutely evil, as, of course, states like California literally just burned that money by fighting homelessness, by spreading homelessness to the tune of billions of dollars.
Yeah, well, and drug addiction. I mean, they've done a great job in California.
Yeah.
But you got to keep in mind, they lost a ton, like over 1 million, people. Probably hundreds of thousands of them were entrepreneurs. So and I'm one of them. So
Yeah.
their
They need
economy.
money. Yeah, they
Who
need to
thought-
figure out how we're gonna take
Who
the
thought-
taxpayer and then
Who thought
hold them
Trump would
upside
be
down and shake 'em.
Who thought Trump would be our libertarian candidate here?
Yes.
Like the libertarians missed the boat on this one. Like he's literally fighting with libertarian. Like if there was a libertarian candidate who actually made sense right now, this would be like,
Hi.
I'm going to take the wind
Sitting
out.
in this room.
Yeah, I'm going to take the wind out of their sails. Instead, we got that guy.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that guy in a little bit because it's Pride Month.
Yeah, you got to mention him on Pride Month.
Yeah, there's this clip that I saw on social media last night that I had to retweet myself, and the caption reads, "Trump floats the idea of eliminating income tax, libertarians."
Well, gentlemen, you had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
Damn right. And
Yes.
of course, eliminate all those taxes. And
All of them.
Hell yeah. And freaking hell. If this is not an argument to vote for Donald Trump, I don't know what is. I mean, Ross Ulbricht, the war stuff. Let's just be honest. This stuff, eliminating taxes on tips. What,
He did it.
you got me.
He did it in a state.
You got me. You got me.
The tip thing, he did it in a state that's extremely based on tips.
Nevada,
right?
bro.
He
There's
did it in
no
Nevada.
there's no city on earth that is more tip reliant than Vegas.
And my daughter's a server, and she's like, "This is awesome." Like, you think about how many people this impacts, the tip-based industry. It is crazy. The fact they tip him, they tax it in the first place is insane. Yeah. But he's singing the right tunes. He's going on the anti-taxation, and it used to be a saying, not anymore. No one's ever lost on a anti-tax platform. And that's actually kind of not true anymore.
No,
but I mean, that's kind of what did the first George Bush in, when he's like, read my lips, no new taxes. And then he jacked up taxes.
Yep. Well, see, that's the thing about the Trump phenomena and his cult of personality is like his supporters. Like, this is why I try to be as even handed when I analyze Donald Trump as possible, is that he has the ability to persuade 50 million people that will vote for him no matter what. Into whatever he proposes is the greatest idea ever. So, like, I want Donald Trump to be talking like a libertarian. I want it desperately.
Yep.
My concern when I'm on these shows and people ask me, like, why aren't you endorsing him, supporting him, voting for him? It's like, I don't believe he'll do it. That's the problem. But I'm still very appreciative that on the campaign trail, he is sounding more and more like Ron Paul or Milei or Vivek. That's all positive, and I hope in his second term he will do those things.
But listen, look at the effect that Ron Paul made by losing the election.
True.
The Overton window that was jammed open, the conversations that were started, the young leaders that are now impacting the Trump administration, that are now impacting, the Trump campaign. His former administration was awash, not that good. He deserves to have his feet held to the fire on all the issues that he's wrong about, but he's listening.
Yeah.
He's saying, these guys really don't like taxes. I was just at this libertarian thing. Some people were screaming at me. It was funny. We just had Andrew here, and he's a big Donald Trump supporter. Andrew Meyer,
yes,
don't tase me, bro.
He's so obnoxious. He never stops replying to me, going, just vote for him.
I love Andrew. He's great. We disagree on some things, but he was front row at the Libertarian convention. He was not happy at the people screaming at Donald Trump. So then after Donald Trump, Chase Oliver was speaking to everyone, and then he started berating Chase Oliver. When Chase Oliver, he's like, "You suck, boo!" So it's pretty funny to see that dichotomy.
He wasn't wrong.
Yeah,
I mean, he was very correct in that assessment.
Yeah, but one of the things that has changed my perspective on him is, again, and I understand your concern, and I think those concerns are legitimate, Clint, but you see the establishment set up situations where he's not going to be able to keep his promise. So that makes me think that he is legitimate about those promises.
That's
because the state wouldn't be making inroads to try to stop him. And they did this a couple weeks ago with Congress kind of deliberating and saying, hey, we gotta make a law that stops Donald Trump from not funding the war in Ukraine. Yeah. We have to, even though Trump helped fund the war in Ukraine, with the Ukraine spending bill, which is an interesting kind of dichotomy thing that I asked Kash Patel about. That again, we got an answer that was kind of interesting. I didn't like that answer, but I don't have to like everything. But I'm going into the weeds here. But again, Congress was talking about, we got to stop Trump from stopping this war. And now we also have this article here from the Daily Mail that reads how Biden and Zelensky are trying to ink a 10-year deal that will lock in the U.S. military support for Ukraine framework that would box in Donald Trump, even if he wins the election, even if it's president of the United States, from being able to stop that war, to stop the funding of this larger conflict. That right there shows me everything I need to see about him being legitimate about this threat, because if he wasn't legitimate about stopping the wars, they wouldn't be trying to stop him before he gets into power. That's my argument against you.
No, I think that is fair. But I've always believed that, and I've said on this show many times, that I believe that Donald Trump, broadly speaking, is against war. He doesn't seem to like it. He seems to speak about it in a sincere fashion, and I appreciate that and I respect it. My issue is not even so much his sincerity as his efficacy. He got buffaloed. He got rolled over by the deep state. And will he be better in his second term? Probably. Is it going to be enough to actually overcome? I'm not sure. And just one quick addition or caveat to that article you just showed. I saw a video last night that was saying that Biden and Zelensky signed it last night. So we need to make sure that's accurate. But my understanding is that it's a done deal, that they have signed it. Now, keep in mind, it could be undone by Trump day one of his presidency. So that it's not binding.
We
No.
hope so, but they're setting up framework where he can't do anything about it.
Well,
They're
also,
trying.
Well, Trump, I believe, like lock her up, the Hillary thing. I think Trump was actually trying to not interrupt the whole let's not prosecute people on the other side. Let's keep it somewhat, work together.
Let's be
But
a little
that-
civil
that-
here. Let's not destroy this country from
Yeah,
within.
but
He made very similar sentiments on Fox News recently.
Yeah,
as
but
well.
that's done. That's over. As soon as they started prosecuting him and Alex and every J6 person, dude, that's gone.
I don't know about that because if you look at his latest comments on Fox News, he was kind of walking back a lot of stuff, including even releasing the Epstein files.
I think the reason he's doing just to give kind of what you were doing to me earlier, giving the steel man of Donald Trump. I think there's a distinct possibility. Like if I was his advisor, if I was actually intending to go after the deep state, I would absolutely be saying I don't intend to. On the campaign trail, but from my vantage point, all I want to hear is him for the next 6 months just going on every huge platform going, the FBI attempted to coup me and I'm going to abolish them and prosecute and imprison everyone that had anything to do with that. That's what I want to hear, but I understand tactically why you wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Plus, the larger ideas that he gets out there that are more libertarian are becoming more normalized.
Yes, that's a huge positive.
And that's the biggest thing that I was even saying with the Vivek campaign. I was like, I like,
Me too, dude.
I don't like politicians, but this Vivek campaign talking about these issues and pushing the Overton window and pushing this conversation, that right there is big,
Bro,
So,
I got so much flack because I've had Vivek on Liberty Lockdown multiple times. I've done spaces with him. We've had him in studio. I debated him at the LP convention just a couple weeks ago. I have a really good relationship with him. I got so much flack from the libertarian audience for having anything positive to say about him. I'm like, this guy is talking about getting rid of 70%, 75%, not of the FBI, not of the CIA, of the entire federal workforce. If you're a libertarian and you have a guy who's like a legitimate presidential contender who's talking like that, and you're not going to give him any positive coverage, you're dedicated to losing.
Well, that's the Libertarian Party, though. That's what they do best.
I know, it's just nuts.
Libertarians are like, how can we mess this up even further? And they've done it every election. They did it with, where's Aleppo? What's Aleppo? They did it with him first. Then, of course, Jorgensen was a complete bust.
that BLM supporter.
Yeah,
Bro, all of our past misdeeds are going to be blown out of the water over the next 6 months. It's going to be crazy.
Well, I mean, you're not going to get 1% of the vote.
If we do, I'd be absolutely.
It is by
gobsmacked.
far the worst ticket we
Ever.
could have put out
Ever.
I was so shocked. I was supposed to go to that convention. My daughter had her graduation, and I was like, I was mad I didn't go because it was comical, but I was happy I didn't go because I don't want to be a part of that.
Dude, I was front row center for it.
It was fun.
Well, I mean,
I'm happy we went. We did some great shows there with Dave Smith and Spike Cohan.
Oh, there's good people.
And it was an utter crap show, but I loved it.
I had a
I like
blast.
crap shows.
Yeah.
I had a blast.
No, you had the debate with Vivek that you
That
won.
was
You had the
amazing.
debate with that New York governor candidate that you won as
Larry
well.
Sharp.
Larry Sharp. You should have him on the show here as well. He's great. But yeah, you did a great job too, Clint.
I had so much fun. It's just that, because I care about the movement and I don't so much
Same.
care about the party, but I do very much care about the movement. And it's just like having that dude go around the country calling himself a libertarian while talking about things that aren't libertarian is going to hurt me deeply for the next 6 months. And I tried everything in my power to avoid that. But that's what the LP delegates wanted, and that's what they'll get.
Yes. Steph, we have some super chats. Let's read all of them, please.
We have Tim Crespi saying, Mark, 12 years ago, I trained and ate barbecue with you in Dallas during Europa. Turning 30,
Speak into the mic, please.
turning 30 next month and still lift.
Awesome. Yeah, we used to do these great meetups and go to shows, and I'd just be like, all right, man, who wants to go get food? And I need to start doing that again. I don't go to fitness expos much anymore, but man, I appreciate you coming, and awesome. Glad you're still lifting, brother.
We have Moose saying, WTF, does Alex do once demon lawyers take everything?
Yeah, that's another aspect a lot of people aren't calculating is that they're going to take everything away from him, all of his money, all of his assets, and then how is he going to be able to represent himself? How is he going to be able to pay for lawyers? And he already probably has huge, I already know, he has huge lawyer bills. And again, I'm biased. I've known him for 20 years. We have private conversations about this type of stuff. The bills that he's getting are absolutely enormous.
Hey, quick-
he's going to be in debt.
Quick side note: you were talking about I don't forget which of you was talking about the ACLU earlier.
Me.
Okay, the ACLU 40 years ago probably would have been defending Alex Jones.
They would have fronted the bill.
Yeah, they probably would have. And now
It's
now they're
changed.
just totally silent.
They're celebrating it. No, they've been hijacked by the woke,
Yeah.
and they literally propel woke causes over free speech now.
This is a free speech issue, for God's sake.
It's not necessarily woke. I think it's the Democrat Party. Like if you look at BLM, where'd all the donations go? Act Blue. All this is just one big political donation arm.
Yep.
Steph,
Sucks.
come on.
All right, we got Andrew Jacobs saying thoughts on the culture war libertarian episode? Question mark.
I watched it this morning.
I wanted to watch it, but for the backstory, Chase Oliver, the Libertarian candidate, was offered up that spot to debate Jeremy Kaufman.
Yep.
And Chase and his team declined, and I think some of his team members and some people part of the Libertarian Party said that Tim Pool's kind of irrelevant.
Yeah.
It was just crazy.
What Tim Pool is probably, if he's not top 5, he's.
I forgot the exact comments. Do you know the comments, Clint? Because you know more about this than I do.
Yeah, I mean, there was these. By the way, these are all the people in the Libertarian Party that I despise with every ounce of my being. But they were all saying, "Why would he go on this irrelevant podcast?" And I'm like, well, first off, it's the largest platform that you may get on this entire election cycle. Secondarily, it's the largest live average nightly show on YouTube. Like,
Yes.
is that nothing to you? These people are so delusional. They do perceive. This is why I opposed the Chase ticket to begin with. Is that they have the critical theory woke worldview that like there are people that you should not talk to, as opposed to this like someone. I remember someone tweeted at me. They said, "Oh, what's next? Should he go on the Kanye West Nick Fuentes?" Show,
Yes.
assuming that, and I said,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
I was like, there'd be millions of people that watch, of
Spread
course.
your ideas. Talk to people.
They're such cowards.
Engage in conversations, especially with the people you disagree with, to prove that your arguments are better and stronger. Stop being afraid of a conversation, of a debate. Do you know how the internet works?
And what if you sway two people?
exactly.
What if you wake two people up?
We don't
2%.
we don't agree with Nick. We still invited him to the show. Yeah. We want to have that conversation because it's worth having. So yeah, these
I
people
agree with
are-
everything
are-
Kanye West says, so.
Everything.
Including the outfits his wife
Oh
wears.
Lord!
I was thinking of buying some for my wife. I don't know if she'd like them, but
You should, but in all white, Clint. You should get. Imagine,
But
imagine wearing like the white hood. Oh goodness!
But just think for a second about how delusional these people are. Like, what do they think they're going to do? Okay, so you turn down Tim Pool. Maybe you get on, you get a 5-minute hit on Rachel Maddow, so you get a couple 100,000 people watching you. That's not going to be bigger than Tim. Like, these people are just they're so out of touch with reality. They also said you should never appear alongside a bigot and a racist like Jeremy Kaufman. First off, I don't agree with that assessment of Jeremy. But secondarily, yes, you should. If you actually oppose them and you believe what you think you believe in, then it should be very easy to contend with talking to a racist.
Maybe
If you
he's
can't do it,
scared.
then what are you even running for president?
Well,
for?
We're going to
He's
have
scared.
Jeremy on next week. Like
Exactly.
he's literally coming on the show
no,
next week.
he's
It should
scared
be
of debate.
Tuesday, and we disagree with Jeremy on some stuff. He's very pro kind of. We can't even say it here on this particular show, but we're okay having him on, even though we disagree with him, because it's about having those conversations. So again, a huge loss for the Libertarian Party, for the Libertarian.
These people are
candidate.
such idiots.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
yeah. No, they're the worst.
That's all I have to say.
They're
just
the
idiots.
worst.
Yeah, but seriously, guys, like, do you even know the internet?
They're
By
scared.
the way, I was offered to take that spot, and I had to ship it to other people to go handle it because I thought we had Milo on today, and I've been waiting for years to talk to Milo Yiannopoulos. Not that I wouldn't also do it for Mark, but
No,
we've had
we
him on
see
so
each
many
other all
times.
the time.
I was like, man, if Milo's here, there's no way. And I told the Bokers no. So
I have my own
crazy.
toothbrush here. That's how often I'm here.
And also, I'm on IRL next Wednesday, so it was kind of stupid to go back to back.
But yeah, Libertarians are dumb.
Yes.
And it sucks because there's a big opportunity, especially just election cycle. There's a big, chance for people to have those conversations. And again, you won't win, but Libertarians know that. But you have an opportunity to spark up those conversations, to inspire people, to motivate people, to organize people, to bring them together. And they're doing the exact
Let me just be
opposite of
very
that.
clear. The entire purpose of having a federal libertarian candidate is not to win at this junction. We do not have the votes. The entire purpose is a marketing blitz.
Yes.
You do every big platform you can possibly get on. The entire reason I threw my hat in the ring is because Dave Smith can get on the largest platforms, and I was the second guy that could get on anything close to the level that Dave could. That's the whole reason I went for it. But I didn't want to do it. But if I had gotten the nomination, which I was 3% away from doing, I would have done Rogan and every big show you can possibly imagine. I would have turned down no large platform that includes Rachel Maddow or any of the people that I think are absolute state propaganda shills. I would have still gone on there and obliterated them because that's the job. That's what we're here to do.
That's what you do.
You guys are shameful.
Yeah.
You're shameful, Chase Oliver.
What do you think is going to be the future of Chase Oliver and the kind of Libertarian Party? Because I don't even think they're going to get 1% with this type of behavior.
Oh, dude.
And then with that, you lose ballot access because if you get a certain percentage, there's certain rewards in this political sphere. I think they're going to lose a lot of support, a lot of delegates, a lot of kind of institutional power, a lot of is there any kind of saving the Libertarian Party now? Because it definitely looks like it's officially done and over with.
No. Look, the party has been in this state of dysfunction for decades now. So I think that people are overreacting because our hopes were so high that we were going to get a ticket with Dave on it that was going to be incredible. The truth is, Chase Oliver's campaign is over in 5 months, and then we'll pick up the pieces after that. I still think it only costs $25 to be a member of the Libertarian Party annually. I mean, it's like nothing. I see no reason that people ought to be leaving because of his candidacy, but I certainly don't think you should be voting for him. I think that would be ridiculous, actually. And I think that you ought to signal your displeasure. You ought to let them know that, like, if you're not going to run a Libertarian, we have no interest in supporting you. So that's my thesis on it. But I do think that this isn't quite done yet, actually. There has been multiple states that have come out over the past 2 weeks, ever since the convention, that are saying they will not put Chase Oliver on their ballot.
I've seen that.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, I just saw something this morning. I forgot what state exactly.
Colorado was this morning. Montana already said it. I think, this morning also New Hampshire said it. So I think there's going to be four. I think there's already four. I think there might be 5 or 6. I have no idea. States that ultimately put a different person on the ballot, and I don't know who that will be yet. But it's a very interesting paradigm. So we'll see. Let's just let it play out. I really don't know at this point.
Steph, we have another super chat on Telegram.
All right, we got a new member, Terrence.
No, Telegram.
Yeah, we have Andrew Jacobs saying, "We are gay.org."
Damn right! We're celebrating Pride Month.
Love
here.
it.
We had to gay it up a little bit with the thumbnail because we were expecting Milo and he wasn't here, so we gotta take the role from him as
Take the poll.
I want to show everyone the thumbnail in case they didn't see it for this show. As of course we are big, we're bold, and we are beautiful.
I'm the only one photoshopped in there.
And
Screw you, dude.
Actually, that wasn't photoshopped. Unfortunately, that's how I look.
I'm the only one that's photoshopped.
That was
I
the
don't know what you're
joke.
talking about. I don't know. This is us in our natural, beautiful states of enjoyment.
What are you
of
looking?
life.
You're looking at Luke's bottom.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. As of course, the conversation gets a lot more gayer on this platform, where we are somehow number one, highlighted with our thumbnail on all of the weeks. So as soon as you go to this website, this is the first thing that props up a website that YouTube doesn't like us talking about. But YouTube, hey, we're gay now. That means you promote us.
I've made it, Mom.
We made it. We're loud. We're proud. We are gay.org. That's not a website. But
Don't go to that website.
I tried. It's not a website. It takes you to luckily, I already investigated this. But the conversation continues. I don't think we have a caller yet. So if you want to be a caller, sign up to lukeunfiltered.com. We're going to transition, as a lot of people do on Pride Month.
That's what I do.
And continue the conversation for another hour on a free speech platform. Conversation ends here and continue somewhere else. Before we go over there, Mark, where can people find out more information about you?
Well, you can follow me on all social media at Mark Lobliner, youtube.com/Tiger Fitness. And of course, if you have anything you want to buy, please support companies that don't hate you. TigerFitness.com.
Yeah, the number one platform for purchasing items from people that you don't hate you is at Liberty Lockpod on X or Liberty Lockdown on YouTube and Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all over the place. And while you're subscribing to the RSS feed for Liberty Lockdown, you should also be searching for the best political show and subscribing to that so you never miss an episode. We will catch you on the flip side.
Yeah, we got to up our podcast game. I'm seeing people on like the podcast charts. I'm like, you know, if you see us on a podcast thing, because you could do it on what, Spotify, iTunes, all of
Apple
them.
Podcasts everywhere.
And then what do they look up to find us?
The best political show.
Yeah. Why are you doing it? Do it right now. Right, Steph?
That's right. Just go on your Spotify and find us there.
You don't want to miss this latest video that we have for you guys, as of course we have a lot of gay things to talk about. Conversation gets a lot gayer, all on this other platform.